Hello everyone, welcome back to Tina Teach JavaScript 101, JavaScript statements. We're going to learn about, what is a JavaScript statement, what are the different syntaxes. Mainly we're just going to get used to how JavaScript looks like in Visual Studio Code or whatever code editor that you have. Semicolons. Semicolons are very important to JavaScript, unlike Python, Django, or CSS or HTML for that matter. With HTML, you have the opening tag and the closing tag, right? With CSS, you have the brackets, the curly brackets. With Python, you have the spacing. For JavaScript, it is the semicolon. The semicolons separate JavaScript statements. And you can also do multiple statements on one line by using the semicolon. Okay, let A, B, C, so we're declaring A, B, C, and then we're assigning values to them. A equals 2, B equals to true, and C equals to Z plus Y. Now, just like HTML, you can miss a closing tag, for example. And with JavaScript, you can miss a semicolon as well. That's not recommended because it's going to be quite weird. The more you code, the more stuff you add into your JavaScript file. It's going to get really confusing because JavaScript doesn't, really know where a statement might begin or where it might end if you lack the proper semicolon. So it's necessary to add it. Next up to white space. So JavaScript ignores multiple spaces, unlike Python or Django. Very similar to HTML. So you can make your code friendlier this way. So let character equals to A and let character equals to A. Both of these are the same thing. And to JavaScript, there's no difference. Let's talk about code blocks. Code blocks are basically a group of code, right? And you can group them together using the curly bracket. Now, why? Why do you need to do this? You can easily define statements that are executed together. And one of the popular, block of codes, they're called functions. And functions have this exact format. Functions are just basically blocks of code. Okay? They're code blocks. I have an example here. Function, my function, document, get element by ID. So you just use, whatever ID of the HTML element that you want to change. Enter HTML, put this phrase into the HTML file, hello world. Basically what this function does is that it prints hello world in the HTML file that it is linked to or it is in. However, just by writing this alone, it's not going to make it work. Remember, you need to call the function either by a button or you declare the call manually. Moving on to keywords. Keywords is something that you need to pay attention to, specifically when you name variables. Since they are reserved words, they do not qualify as variable name. It'll be flagged as an error, or JavaScript will get really confused because it thinks that the name of the variable is actually, a method or a statement that needs to be executed. But how are you going to execute a variable, right? Now, these are one of the few, nonetheless very important keywords that you need to keep in mind. Var is for declaring variable. Let declares a block variable. Const declare a constant variable. If is for if and else statements. Switch execute in different cases. This is quite similar to if, but it's highly conditional. Sorry, not highly conditional. If and else is highly conditional. Switch is, as the name suggests, it just switch things around, switch codes. Depending on which condition is true. For is for loop. Function, as we've learned, just a code block, declares a function. Look at it again with our HTML main file. I'm going to make some changes. This one is no longer for cake. let's just try click me. We're keeping it as general as possible. And instead of cake, I'm going to have print 2. And up here, print 1. All right, so my function over here will go by print 2 and no longer cake. And this one, let's go ahead and document dot get element by ID, print 1 dot inner HTML equals to hello, I guess. Let's use hello as a placeholder for now. The focus of this lesson is about a bunch of variables, and we're going to be creating them, declaring them, and assigning values, and we will try printing them as well as performing some arithmetic calculation on them. So now I'm going to escape out of the function and let A, B, and C. A equals to, let's say 2, B equals to 3, and C equals to 4. And D equals to A plus B, so we should have 5. Instead of this, instead of hello, let's try printing out D, all right? Make no mistake, you can write all of these on the same line as well. It is made possible using the semicolon, and I'm going to try that. Phrase 1 equals to I love chocolate. And then phrase 2 is I love strawberry. And then let's print these out. Document get element by ID. And we're going to go with print 2 since we're not using print 2. Inner HTML equals to phrase 1 plus phrase 2. Now if you click on click me, we still have the cake is velvet because we haven't changed the code. If you click on try me, you get the answer of 5. And then I love chocolate and I love strawberry. However, there's no spacing between the two and that looks awkward. So let's change that. I'm going to add a spacing in between them. Let's run this again. Try me. I love chocolate and I love strawberry. And you can do whatever you want with these. You can, try D. Let's add D to C. So we're adding 5 to 4. And then we can times it by 2. And then times it by, B, 3 as well. And for the phrase 1, phrase 2, you can certainly add a lot in front of them. However, you cannot add string to integers, okay? But if the integer is in the form of a string, then you absolutely can. Try me. So that's what we have. We have 29. And then, as you can see, I just put a lot of nonsense in between these, and they still work fine. And this is expressed as a string, not as an integer. So you can pair them up, pair 5 with strings. However, you cannot do any sort of calculations using this number 5 over here. Okay? That's very neat, isn't it? You can go back and forth. So that's it for today's lesson. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Next up, we're going to be dealing with JavaScript syntax. So I do hope that you'll tune in. Have a wonderful day.